6 for the bank. Okay. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Dr. Barfield would like to read something before we begin our invocation and pledge.
Today, I'd like to take a moment to honor the life and legacy of Zachary Tyler Martin Polsenberg, a young man whose story continues to impact student-athlete safety across the state of Florida. Zachary, known as Zach, was a 16-year-old football player at Riverdale High School. He was a dedicated student-athlete with a very bright future. Tragically, today, in 2017, Zach passed away due to complications from external heat stroke following a summer football practice. At the time of his collapse, Zach's core body temperature was recorded at 107 degrees. Despite being transported to Hope Children's Hospital in Miami, Zach was removed from life support 11 days later, never having recovered. My son TJ was with Zach when this tragic incident occurred, and as a young person should never have had to experience the questions and loss that this incident created. This heartbreaking loss ignited a movement led with courage and strength by his mother, Lori. In the face of unimaginable grief, Lori turned her pain into purpose. She became a tireless advocate for heat stroke awareness and prevention, determined that no other family should have to endure what hers had. Thanks to her advocacy and support of many others, the Zachary Martin Act was signed into law in 2020. This legislation mandates that all Florida High School Athletic Association member schools receive heat illness training and are equipped with life-saving emergency equipment such as cold water immersion tubs. These critical measures are designed to help prevent heat-related tragedies and ensure schools are prepared to act swiftly and when seconds count. Because of Zach and because of the actions taken in his name, thousands of student athletes across Florida are now safe. Let us take this moment not only to remember Zach, but to commit ourselves as educators, leaders, and community members to the highest standards of student safety. His life, though short, has left a lasting legacy. May we honor him by continuing to protect and value the lives of every student in our care. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barfield. All right, please stand. We'll be led, the invocation will be led by Mr. Lucky.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you that we all have the opportunity to be here today. Thank you, Lord, that we live in this great nation, this great state, and this absolutely wonderful county. Lord, I ask that your presence be with us as we make decisions today about our youth. I ask that you would give us wisdom, and I thank you for all the lives involved that help us to make these decisions. Lord, we ask you to just take care of us, and we ask that you be with the families of the victims in the tragic flood down in Texas, especially since so many of those were young people. And Lord, I ask that you help the first responders who have a tremendous job ahead of them, since so many are still missing. Lord, guide and comfort those down there. Lord, we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, we do have meeting guidelines. If I don't see any visitors, so I won't even go into all that. But we'll move into item 2.1, approved minutes of the Glades County School Board meeting June 26, 2025 at 6 p.m. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion we accept those minutes.
Okay, do we have a second? All right, we have a motion by Mr. Lucky, a second by Ms. Clement. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3.1, update of new elementary school. Welcome.
I did bring a video.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So I'm sure as everybody's noticed, there's been a flurry of activity going on with masonry going on the outside. It's a very tedious job. There's a lot of little individual components that go along with it. A lot of the areas you'll see have the black coating that's a damp-proofing material. Keeps from water seeping into the block and things like that during rainy season, any moisture that gets in there. See if I can cast.
I got a button, I was doing switch.
It was a good video today too. Inside stuff.
So I noticed while we're waiting that the old, bus barn is down.
The bus barn is down. They still have some materials to move out of the way. We are scheduled to bring in Forest Hall, our demo contractor, next week to start demoing out the asphalt and anything that's sitting around there. So we can start harvesting that material for the site. And, you know, obviously create some material. So.
It looks different from when you're coming into Moorhaven on the bridge. It, you know, it just looks different. And when you're pulling in here, it looks so clean and new.
The white is skyline.
The skyline, absolutely.
No, fair to fair.
There we go.
There we go, do that. Alright, so, as you see, the roof is all dried in now. They're doing the subfascia on the outboard sides. Once they get the subfascia along these edges, then there's a trim piece that goes on, and they'll start putting up all the roof panels. Windows will start going in beginning of next week on the back side of the building. So what we'd like to do is wait for that to all be washed and cleaned before we put the windows in. We use an acid to clean the brick. So if we use the acid, if we clean the brick after the windows, we take a chance of etching the glass and things like that. So we try not to do that. As you can see, our temporary windows that we have in there, that's just to keep the rain out at this point.
So those are temporary ones.
It's just plastic and 2x4s, and we can pitch those and open them up and do different things like that. But that allows us to keep moving forward inside. First floor MEPs, so all your mechanical, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, is 100% rough inspected, and drywall is going on right now, installation of drywall. Second floor, by 2 weeks from now, we should have everything inspected on the second floor, and we drywall on it there. All the brick is done. By the end of this week, they'll be off of this, off of this corner, and then working their way around. As you can see, they're already doing the first lift, working around the face of the building. All that scaffolding will move and start filling in that area. This is your first floor hall going into admin. So all the block fill, we're probably been 90% of the block fill's been done. This allows us to see any imperfections in the block. We go in, patch those up before paint. It's kind of that messy period with the drywallers and insulators, so excuse the mess, but it's all cleaned up now, so. But you can see insulation, drywall going in. This is reading coach to bookkeeping. You see all the framing is done on that first floor. This is second floor east, media entrance. And hall to the art classroom. Again, you can see all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, rough end is pretty much done and complete. All our IT racks are in. Insulation going on all the ductwork, block fill, drywall, and then we'll start working on grid ceilings. We're looking to start planning on installing vinyl flooring first, second week of September. Everything's moving along pretty good. Next week, we have the site guys coming back to finish up any things they have and start cutting in our roads. We have second week of August for first week of asphalt. So it's moving along at a pretty good pace. So far, we've had a few issues on some procurement items, but it doesn't delay us per se, just delays us for the task. But there's other areas we make up the time in, so it's just a matter of regrouping and attacking it in a different direction.
So are we still on the right timeline
Yes,
though?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Still on target
Still on
for the
target.
timeline?
Yes.
Still under budget?
We're still on it.
Awesome. Okay.
So everything's going well. I think, we have a lot of meetings, a lot of coordination meetings. We're definitely pricing things out properly. The subcontractors, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, we haven't seen too many issues with any, potential tariff costs or anything of that nature, so.
You're talking about bus barn, where we're on that?
Yeah, so, bus barn, right now they're starting to set light poles. They need a different piece of machinery to do that, so that should be here, I think tomorrow's when they do this. So they'll continue to do that. Just doing a few punch items inside. One of the items that was delayed on that building was the storefront on the front entry. We do have a temp one in there now, so we're just anticipating that the final one to show up. So we're just there's some issues there. Once we get through our final inspections on that, we can seal the building. I think we have the fire alarm thing figured out at this point, the monitoring system, so we're in good shape on that. The bus barn is being stocked, as you call it.
So the restrooms weren't complete last time, I believe,
Yeah,
right now?
there was a couple of pieces that were missing. They did get delivered, so Andrew's gonna be working on the rest of the items in that bus garage this weekend to get that completed. Again, I think the only thing that will be missing is that storefront assembly.
I don't know what you mean by
It's
that.
the main doors that come into the building, the front doors, so we'll get that taken care of. And then some of the items that you see I'm working on now, those are items that I pointed out when I was here the other day that I want corrected.
Just a few other things, I mean, we have like, the pull down for the grease, the deck, and, or the oil.
Yeah, there's a couple of those
Couple items
items
still out
that
there.
we're, waiting on pricing and things of that nature, figuring out exactly what would work for the assembly. But, again, we get that, that's not a showstopper to turn the building over, so.
So we're not officially in it yet. We don't have the CO, which is the occupancy, right?
Right, so, what needs to happen is, we get the monitoring system figured out, we get that set up. Once we get the monitoring system figured, it makes us all, that's our life safety. Once we have our life safety, we can go for our final building inspections. Once we have final building inspections, Universal, which is our third-party inspector, will issue to Brian done everything for plans and specs, and it's okay to occupy, you can issue a certificate of occupancy.
We're working on plans for renovation of the, what do you call it, 5th and 6th grade building?
Ritchie building.
No, it's not the Ritchie building, it's the other one.
Oh, across, pre-K.
Where pre-K is right now, yeah, and along with the Ritchie building. We actually working on trying to have all kinds of policy decisions made before middle of August.
So we'd like to see it in August, just for procurement times, for materials. So,
That's not wonderful.
right now, it's, everybody's in their busy season, it's the summer rounds, it's, the cities are trying to get everything ordered and in the queue before the next year's orders go in. It's crucial to get our material when we need it, so. We have to order everything pretty much in here, advance on our materials. So we have to be proactive.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, are you happy with the way things are going?
Well, I always want to go faster, but again, the quality is there. So, I'm not gonna complain too much, you guys are doing a great job. Make sure that, it's a safe, productive site. I was surprised at the quality of the block work and things like that, you don't always see that. Our masons understood the assignment, and they came through it. So, it seems like everybody's coming through on quality work. So I'm happy with that. There's things I'd like to see move faster, there's things I'd like to see move slower, but, it's all about being safe and quality products. I'm gonna hand it to the guys working through the rain and
The heat,
the heat.
horrible.
It's pretty warm inside that building, you got fans going everywhere and stuff like that, but it's still, pretty stagnant.
Once they start getting the windows in, they can start running some of the AC units.
Yeah, so what we can do is start closing off areas, so as we're bringing systems online, we can close off areas but at that point, it'll just get finished straight to the anyway. But yeah, we can do that, and then we do have, backups, we can do temp systems if they, if the timing is off a little bit, we can bring temp systems in the pool area as well. So we can do that. But right now, all our equipment's here, so we should.
The playground equipment, it's gonna be delivered approximately when?
Probably end of August, maybe
Yeah.
September.
Okay. And they'll put it up immediately, or?
Yes, yeah, so what we'll do is, a lot of this material that we're pulling out of the pond, at the old bus garage, a lot of that'll be infilled in there, and then the playground equipment folks will come in, put in the footings and things of that nature, for their equipment. So,
Yeah, we wanted to make sure all the brickwork was done on the backside first, the courtyard, and then we had to put the dirt in there.
What about the like landscaping and stuff, is that all, when will that go in? Cause I know it's far from that, but I know it's probably the last thing you do.
well, you're gonna start seeing light poles and things like that going in, we'd like to get that in before asphalt. Again, we don't wanna do any scarring in the asphalt, it's only when we first lift, but, every time we tear something up, then we have to pay to replace it, so we're trying to do that, so we try to get as much done. Again, we're scheduled for, I think it's August 19th, which will be Adrian saying, for the first look at asphalt, so between now and then, we'll start seeing grading going on, and it'll start taking form, which we'll see. And then landscaping, we'll bring those guys in by the end of August. Start getting all their sprinkler lines in. Again, we gotta get everybody away from the building. So, by next 3 weeks, we should be done with brick. And,
On the backside.
I'm sorry?
We've done with brick on the backside.
Oh,
Yeah.
brick on the backside will be done by the end of next week, and then we're gonna come down the trailer face and then down the front. As you can see, most of those guys are coming up, bringing up 4 to 5 feet, and then this is the shaft. So we're gonna push to get that brick done because without the brick, we can't go.
And there was only one poorly laid brick in the whole thing, that was the one that I did.
It's marked, it's marked.
Is it marked? It's like this, everything else is perfect.
Yeah, Pay to go around and try to find it.
The, how long will it take the asphalt, does it like have to set for a while before anyone else is on the site, or is that something you do?
Well, again, our first lift, we'll probably do it on a weekend or at nighttime or something of that nature. just to keep everybody off it. When these guys come in, they want to make sure that they have links to what, on the site stuff, so I'll kind of do that. I break down into 2 phases, but the second lift will be everybody pretty much be gone, minus a few punch cards and things of that nature. So there'll be very limited traffic. You know, the heat, asphalt's a little sensitive, especially if it's fresh. So, but we, you know, hopefully we don't have too many damaged areas. Good thing is, you know, when asphalt's fresh, it's, you beat it up and you can kind of mold it back.
We certainly appreciate your diligence and hard work and perseverance and patience. And
It's been fun, it's been a pleasure, and, like I said,
I'm
guys.
sure it's not been as easy as you present it, but we appreciate it.
It's, I've been on a lot worse, like I said before, this is probably the best job that.
We're still up there?
And you are still up.
All right.
This is
The
one of
other
the best.
the other ones didn't try to kill him.
We sure appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We can't wait.
Oh, we were gonna talk about, field trip. Do you wanna talk about that now?
We can mention that, yeah. I talked to Mr. Thomas, elementary school. We're planning on doing a field trip with their staff on Friday, August 8th, I believe. We're gonna take them over at 10 o'clock. It was his idea to give them an idea of what the school's gonna look like, so.
Great.
That's our plan for right now. And of course, if the board wants to join on that, we'll do that as well. By that time, we'll have a lot more drywall up. You'll be able to see pretty much what the rooms are gonna look like.
Definitely be able to visualize everything.
Right.
He's trying to get them excited, isn't he? That's
Yes,
great.
it is.
That's great.
That's at 10 o'clock on that day?
Yes, ma'am, that's the plan.
All right, well,
Do they get to wear hard hats and
Oh, definitely,
measure stuff too?
definitely. That's,
They gotta bring their own tape. You're not bringing tapes for
no,
them.
I'm out of tapes.
They will provide a hard hat, so that's what a hard hat is, yeah.
We still have some of those, t-shirts too, so.
all right, well, thank you very
All right.
much. Appreciate that.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Start your vacation.
Safe driving.
All that for you.
Start your vacation.
What's that?
Get start your vacation.
Yeah, I'll do 2 days of vacation, I
You did that many days?
guess.
Yeah, you get it.
Well, I had to tell John when we got done with lunch, I was going on vacation.
Just make sure you come back.
Oh, yeah, I'll be back Monday.
All right,
All right, see you
sounds
later.
good. All right, we'll move on to item 4.1, presentation of Office of Safe Schools, quarterly report 2024-2025. Mr. Dress.
As you can see from your paper, there's not really much information concerning that. The state statute says that as a safety specialist, I have to report quarterly on any kinds of inspections that have done or any findings that have been done. There were no inspections done by the state in the fourth quarter, so there were no findings. When I presented the third quarter, that was the inspection that I did, because as a school safety specialist, I have to do one per school. But overall, I think we had a great year. We only had one finding for the whole year, and that was at the very beginning of the year. And that was that the high school did not follow procedure. They were supposed to do a lockdown drill within the first 10 days, and they actually did it, I believe, on the 11th day. And so that's why there was a finding on that. But we'll make sure that everyone has been done in the first 10 days this year. So.
Maybe the person in charge could,
Yeah, no comment. Any questions on that?
I don't have any. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking care of that.
Absolutely.
All right, item 5.1, public comment. Is that right? Awesome. All right, consent agenda. Does anyone have any items they'd like to pull from the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
move to approve the consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Prolock, second by Mr. Lucky. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, action agenda, item 7.1, approval of budget workshop and approval of trim advertisements to be held July 22nd, 2025 at 9 a.m. Now, Carla, you told me something had
We
been
have to
changed.
change that first one to 4 p.m. because we have meetings in here for admin.
All right, so, I have a board meeting at 9 a.m. there.
On the 22nd?
July? This says 22nd.
The board meeting is on the 24th.
Board meetings at 9 on the 24th.
And then we had, on the 22nd, we had 9 a.m.
Yeah, for the workshop. So the workshop is changing from the 22nd at 9 to the 24th.
No, we're gonna do it, we have to do it on the 22nd because of the,
Newspaper deadlines,
Right.
it's gonna be in the
Okay.
newspaper by Wednesday.
the time is the only thing we need to change,
All right, so in the motion, please say the correct time, and that is
4 p.m.
4 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. So we have a motion to approve that, please say the time, because it does differ from our agenda.
Okay, I move to approve a budget workshop and approval of trim advertisements to be held July 23rd, 2025 at 4 p.m.
Okay, I believe it's 22nd.
Did I say, okay, I said it wrong. July 22nd, 2025.
At 4 p.m. Do we have,
Yes, thank you for
That's okay.
checking me.
that's okay. I think you
Yes,
said the
at 4 p.m.
23rd, if I heard you right, but I could have misheard. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
All right, Ms. Probot has made the motion, Mr. Lucky has seconded. So the budget workshop and the trim advertisements will be held July 22nd at 4 in the afternoon. All
And
right,
you'll put those on our
Yes, you'll get it.
Google.
now, it says workshop. Is that gonna be a real workshop? Because 9 a.m. we could have a real workshop, I mean, long one, but at 4 p.m. Are we gonna just have a mini workshop?
Depends on how long you wanna talk about it. If you wanna talk about it, we can make it longer, we can make it earlier.
We can't.
All right. Okay. Okay, we'll have to talk fast.
Well, if there's more that needs to be discussed, we can have a second one.
Well, if we start at 4, we can go till 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I just want everybody to be aware,
We'll have a potluck.
when it was at 9, that meant we had, plenty of
All day,
time to
yeah.
discuss and talk about it, but if we're moving it to 4, probably,
Madison starts to wear out.
yeah, I know, I get tired.
Well, if you would send me any of your questions or any of your ideas prior to, it would make it go a lot easier and a lot faster. They have not released, which I'm gonna talk about in my superintendent's, report, but federal funds are not, they're being frozen. So, I mean, if you all have your ideas or any questions, if you'll just go ahead and send them to me, I can get a Google Doc started and then we can have answers or anything ready to go. And then the meeting won't last as long.
We have our numbers though, right, what we're going to get from the state?
We got
next
the
year?
FEFP conference numbers, we still haven't gotten the survey 3 recalibrated numbers back from DOE. So we're doing a best based off the conference and the DOE forecasting for our FTE numbers. And that's what I'm gonna show you guys on the 22nd.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you where the numbers came from off the conference onto what's gonna be the
So
budget.
We pretty much know what the bottom dollar amount of the budget is going to be.
That's actually what I'm sitting back
We
here
have our
with.
staffing
Mhm.
plan, which is
Yes.
gonna take up,
I'm gonna combine it and
what percentage is it gonna be now?
It depends on what the bottom number is, I'm shooting for under 75%,
Good,
but it should be between 75 and 77. Keep in mind, we have to make up for last year, so we're trying to shoot underneath that
okay,
to make sure that we
all right,
recoup from last.
so the bulk of the budget is pretty much decided for us. So,
revenue minus staff, the two
so
biggest
what we
pieces.
need to look at are those extra things, that if any of us have anything that we want or you want to add that we didn't have last year, those are things that we'll need to talk about that day.
And if
We
you
could.
want, if that's what I'm saying, if you'll send them to me, I'll start it, and then that way, like, say for example, Ms. Prolon wants to add, just-
Like a shared Google Doc between us or
yeah,
something.
I can go ahead, look to see if it's possible, look to see if there's a precedent sent, I mean, I can go ahead and do that back work, but I can just tell you that there's gonna be very little wiggle room.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going very, very tight.
All right, so we'll move to item 7.2, approval of public hearing to adopt millage and tentative budget on August 1st, 2025 at 5:01. That date and time is correct.
Yes, it is.
All right, do we have a motion to approve that?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Clement, second by Ms. Prolon. Any discussion? All in favor?
I just
Oh, I'm
want to say that I
Okay.
will not be here.
Okay,
I'll be out of town for a few days there.
okay. Are we gonna have a quorum,
I'm
as
gonna
far as we know?
I don't think anybody else has vacation during that time, so it should be.
And I had it on my calendar, but, so that's 5:01. We're just gonna read a script. You're gonna have a script, right?
In and out.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7.3, approval of final budget hearing to be held September 4th, 2025 at 5:30 PM before a regular school board meeting at 6 PM. Those times are.
Move to approve.
Okay, have a motion by Ms. Prolon, second by Ms. Clement. Any discussion? Yes, sir?
I thought we just did that, we just talked about that meeting.
That
Made
was
sure it was changed to 4 o'clock.
That was a different one.
Yeah, you have the tentative.
Two above that, two bullets
Go
above.
down to, go to the second page,
7.3 is where we're at now.
7.3.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're gonna have a short budget hearing at 5:30, followed by a 6 o'clock meeting.
Correct.
Any other questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, general public comments. All right, seeing none, we'll move to information items. Oh, sorry,
Hold his hand up for the last 3
you
questions.
didn't turn a card in, so.
I'm just wondering, like 5-year plan for capital outlays and due until the fall. Is that something that Mr. Thomas and I need to bring for this budget?
Yes,
meeting?
I want to include it because Brian and I had discovered under former administration, there had really been no syncing up on the 5-year work plan and the budget. So he expressed that it is kind of important that those things need to match because projects cost money and what we want to work on this budget year needs to be in there, so.
And we
If you
do
guys
take
are
some
okay with
salary money out of capital outlay.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. Don't you all agree?
Well, that's
Yes.
what that new law was, right? That we could do that now.
What's that?
Takes salary money out of it, like if you've done other things or you can reach your goals with that.
Oh, I don't know.
No, that's
I
not
don't know
That's
anything
not the
about
one.
that.
we take out some maintenance salaries out of that because we can, we've always been able to. But there is something that
I've
you
read,
brought up.
it's, yeah,
There is
there's,
something, but it has to be, it's something that has to be voted on, I believe, first, isn't there something?
there was some law passed that we could use funds for salaries that, had not been previously allowed, but you have to meet certain requirements.
I'm sorry.
So I just have it confused with what it is, but there is something.
Well, we need to find out what it is. Dr. Barfield, can you look into that?
I think Mr. Gravis knows what it is, he just
You know what it
can't bring
is,
it to
what you
thought
got?
right now, yeah.
I can't bring what it is.
There's been so many new educational
Oh, yeah.
laws that it's like one of,
But if it's something that's gonna give us flexibility
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
capital money, since our referendum is not there for the flexibility,
That's the
That would be
referendum that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, the referendum. We didn't do that, correct?
Yeah, but he's talking about a state law.
Yeah, he's talking about
But I think it's,
No,
I know, now I remember what he's talking about now, referendum.
And I think as we discussed that, we need to be careful about, thinking we've got this big pot of money now that we can use for salaries, because we are looking at, we still have to do payback for our special facilities funding.
It's strictly, mostly for capital.
That's right, and we are hoping to move forward with, building a school out in Hughes, middle high school.
So what year do we start our payback?
We can start it this year,
What year do we have to start?
we have to start it next year. Yeah. According to our plan that we signed off on, we have to pay something towards it.
And then we also have the payment
not
for
this
the
coming
buses that
fiscal
comes
year.
out of there too.
Actually, we start paying back this fiscal.
This fiscal year, so that's gotta be budgeted, what our payback payment is. And the part about flexibility, drawing it out didn't pass.
Correct,
So we've gotta pay the percent that we do.
5.7 million.
there are conversations being held to bring it back next year, but I wouldn't, you know, we can't bet on that, but it is being talked about to take back to under the rural renaissance.
To add that part back, which would be great, but we've gotta make the payment this year. When I say this, I mean, it's
We
coming
have to
here.
make a payment.
This fiscal year,
We're in it already.
this fiscal year.
Yeah, this is our first meeting in this fiscal year.
That's true, we're in that year now.
Yeah, we're in that
Okay,
year.
We're in that year.
Which is
It's on the
confusing.
budget, yeah.
Yeah, it's confusing because we're talking about next school year, but it's not, it's this school year.
Right, and we haven't done a budget for the year we've already started. Not,
No one,
not
I
our
mean,
fault, but
yeah.
that's just the way the calendar falls, but.
Well, and they were talking today on our superintendent meeting that a lot of districts were saying they don't wanna do it yet because they don't wanna put asterisks, you know, in those.
I'm having a good old time.
Can I ask Don a question?
Sure.
Don, I took notice of what you said about the comprehensive plan and the budget and linking it up, I think was true. Will you certainly let us know beforehand if there's big chunks of things that didn't link up so that we could work on it before we get to them?
Yes, if I see anything, or of course if Mr. Gressa sees
Right.
anything, then we can,
Declaring, let the superintendent know and the chairman know. Thank you.
no, we don't like surprises either.
No.
We try to avoid those.
All right, anything else for general public comments?
That's kind of an information.
Okay, information items, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we were doing, are there any more information items, no meetings or anything? All right, we'll move to item 10.1, superintendent's report.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, you be in contact with, the property appraiser?
Yes,
Okay, because from what we've been told, several thousand acres have been taken off our tax rolls, so the tribe has purchased quite a lot of.
the tribe purchased,
Yes.
okay,
Okay,
I
but-
mean,
Wait a minute. My father told me, he's the former property appraiser. The tribe always tries to get tax exemption when they purchase land outside of the tribe. But,
Reservation, right?
right, but that, but they don't get it
All right,
because it's not, they are supposed, I'll just say that, when they purchase land outside of the tribe, they still have to pay property taxes, even though they say they don't. That is still part, their tax exemption is for the land that's been set aside for the
federal
tribe.
land.
Federal, not, so we should not be losing
We
any
are.
of that.
We are.
Why? Is that new?
Because, yes, the county is annexing 6,000 acres to Seminole Tribal Authority. And a letter was sent to the tax collector, the property appraiser, and all the county commissioners. And the only person that responded was Lori Ward's office, and that came from the governor's office, I'm assuming. And it's this, it's in total package, it's like 6,400 something acres. And it is, they are annexing, but I don't know the specifics, I don't know what it's gonna cost us, if it's gonna remove it, it will remove it from the tax roll. But it is a total of 6,000 plus acres.
Well, they did send us in June, the property appraiser, the estimated taxable value for 2025, so I'll call her tomorrow and ask her if that number, because I don't know if that news came in after that, or, so I'll find out if that's changing the taxable
So
value.
this property that they're annexing now becomes part of the reservation? Which is what you were saying, if they purchase property, it
Yeah,
is
so
not
they-
part of the reservation.
Right.
I don't see how a county government can designate a piece of property as federal land. That sounds above a county
The
government's.
county the county didn't, it came from the governor's office.
So the governor told our county,
I don't think the
Give
county
it a try.
commission knew about it. They
When
didn't
did-
all know about it.
When did we
I do know
officially
that.
find out that this was in the works?
After they'd already annexed 4,000 acres or 3,000 acres.
Well, if those 6,000 acres are gonna be ag exempt, it's gonna be very few taxes. But if those 6,000 acres, are not in that category, then we're missing a lot of funds.
I think my concern here, and I mean, I agree with you, but my concern is that you have that property, that's 6,000 acres off the tax roll. You have Duda's property. There's so much of Glades County's property that's either being turned to, water, whatever.
Yeah.
We're just giving it away piece by piece and we're losing taxable income. And so, I don't know, and I'm not saying that the county commissioners knew about it, but they were sent a letter. So, I don't know if someone didn't give them the letter or if it wasn't sent, but I do know they did receive, they were on the letter.
did you get the letter?
I did not,
So how did you find out about it?
someone told me about it.
I'll email Miss Ward tomorrow.
And I don't think anyone, it was to hurt the county, but I think that it's going to hurt us if it's, like you said, if it's gonna be residential and they annexed it, then it's gonna be a huge
It might even
increase.
be commercial.
Absolutely.
Well, there's no precedence for this that I know of. The only precedence I know is that when they acquire, and I use the word purchase, when the tribe buys land outside of the reservation, even if it borders it, they have to pay the county property taxes for that portion that wasn't part of the original reservation. The deal about this annexing, and it's not a purchase, that sounds to me like the way around to circumvent that. So were we notified by the property appraiser that we weren't gonna have?
No, I get the estimated taxable value in June, and then on July 1st is when they certify that taxable value. I have not gotten any notice that that amount was reduced or it was expected to be
Was it larger than
reduced.
last year? Will you check that? Because it should have increased a little bit with all the housing we,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how long that would take you, Dawn, but if you could check that.
This,
It should have been a little higher.
Projected to increase.
I hate to ask this question, but does anyone know, when the new community that's going up in Buckhead, did they annex that for them, or is that, does anyone know?
That's gonna be on the tax rolls, is
It
my
is?
understanding, yeah.
That was my
That's private
understanding.
property.
To every one of those meetings that we've gone to. Now, I hear that down the road, these communities sometimes ask for exemptions, but it's nothing that they ask for at the beginning.
So I'm still confused. You're saying the county annexed this property to the tribe, but the county didn't it wasn't their idea, somebody told them they had to annex it?
I don't think it was county property.
No, it wasn't county property, it was owned
What
by,
property was it?
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
owned by two different entities that were Seminole-owned properties. Seminole Indian, one was,
Also, they were they belonged,
I should say Seminole families owned them, I shouldn't say,
Okay.
nothing to do with Seminole
not
property.
the tribe, but some of their
Correct.
own.
Correct, and then they annexed properties and they combined them.
Okay, Kim has some information to add to that. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were trying to get in there.
Our superintendent, can you contact Lori Ward? And also ask about the precedents. And ask her if those two entities pay taxes. And just where are we? Because we're asking a lot of, we need to know, we're doing a budget. I don't know how much it is, if it's $100 or $1,000.
Yeah, if it's away from what they estimated it to us as, we need to be aware.
So there's a piece of property that was owned by an Indian,
Correct.
Seminole.
Correct.
Personally, it wasn't part of the reservation. And now that has become part of the reservation.
Correct. And currently, it's already 3,000 something acres I've got the paper,
Is it adjacent, does it touch it, or is it?
we looked it up, it's,
I think it touches.
It touches.
yeah, it touches. When it's all said and done, it's gonna be around 6,000 acres back.
So it's increasing the size of the Seminole Brighton Reservation
Yes,
by
ma'am.
6,000 acres.
Yes, ma'am.
And it came from the governor's office, and our county commission didn't have any say in it.
I don't think, I've heard different stories.
I mean, we don't have a say when they make a water reservoir either.
Correct.
They just do it.
They just do it. I don't know, I don't know, from what I've heard is they really didn't have a say, that they were sent a letter from the governor's office and said, this is it. But then I also heard, well, they didn't hear from anybody, so it wasn't like, obviously they don't care if we do this, so I've heard different stories, who knows, but the bottom line is it's being done, it is happening, and as the largest entity in Glades County, I would have thought that we would have been told about this purchase, but like you said, they don't ask us, so.
And I guess when you talk to Mrs. Ward, would you ask her if she has authority in this matter? Because previously, the property appraiser had authority in matters very, very, very similar to that. The word annex wasn't used, but anyway, if you'll ask her.
Did you wanna comment, Dawn?
Yes, I have an answer to a question. So for the 24-25 tax roll year, the amount was $1,249,889.88, so it was 1.249. And then this year, it was estimated to be at 1,285. So it appears that it did go up a little bit, but that depends on if they reduced it.
$36,000.
But not much.
Yeah, that just depends on if they reduced it by the
Does
arrangement.
anybody know where the county is with the impact fee study?
I would like to know that. That's a good
I
read.
haven't heard anything.
Do you want me to call or ask?
If you would, that'd be great. Yeah. So, yeah, that was only 35,000 more or something like
That's
that?
crazy.
Out of all the new construction we've had, something's not right.
I would think there's 85 to 100 new homes a year.
36,000 Something's not right. Will you all get to the bottom and report back to us and tell us what's going on?
Got it.
We'll do some research on our own as well. All right, where are we at? Superintendent's report, Dr. Barfield.
Okay, so, I'm very happy to announce that, school grades came out. I know I've already commented, already, shared with you all, but we are a B district again, back-to-back B, so that's congratulations to all of our students and staff. And, Moorhaven Middle High School was rated a C school district. West Glades was rated an A school district. Moorhaven Elementary School was rated a B school district, and they are bringing that grade up from a C, so they came up. And Payetta is also a back-to-back A. So we had 2 back-to-back As, 1 school that went up, and Moorhaven Middle High School also,
Every
improving.
school went up, right?
Sorry?
The schools that were not A's went up.
Correct, well, they didn't, Moorhaven Middle High School remained a C.
Did they go up?
So
higher.
there were some areas that we did come up, total overall points, I'm not sure. But I will say that we were, our graduation rate was the highest in the consortium at 90%, which was one of the highest in the state, which is really good. We've got some areas, a lot of people don't understand that when you get to the high school and middle school level, that a lot of your school grade is determined by your school schedule, your schedule and how you schedule classes. What kids are scheduled into what classes, what kids count for what, and we already know 3 of the columns right now are already pretty much filled out for this year's grade because it's lagging data. So like the graduation rate from last year will go to this year. And the middle school acceleration from last year will actually come to this year. So there's more to it than just, I'm gonna have the schools come, and I don't want them to present to you fluff. What I want them to get up here and show is what they're gonna do and what their projected grade is gonna be for this year. And I want them to tell you their plan. I think that's important, for the board to know. We are 1 point from an A, and as you know, 3 years ago, we were 1 point from and we went back, we got the point, but then they wouldn't give us the grade because they said, they were so many A's, so many B's, whatever. We're really looking at some areas that we think possibly might be the missing point that we need, and I say point, it's a percentage, so it's more than 1 kid.
But it's a point on their scale.
Correct.
Right.
A
Percentage point. We ended up, what was that?
Not a raw score. What was it, 17?
7.
13 points.
13, we need 13 points on the raw scale, which is 1 percentage point.
So we're that close, and it's, hopefully we can find it, but if not, I'm proud of a B. It's, double B is perfect. But we definitely know what we need to work to attain it for next year. And so, we're gonna be doing that. And other news, I don't have a lot to report just because, we've been so busy with the school grade. We need to, appoint somebody to the, Value Adjustment Board. I know last year Patty was the, representative, and, I'm not sure, Jenny was the alternate, but of course now she's no longer here. So we need to appoint, a school board member and an alternate, and then we also need to appoint a citizen. I know Mr. Perry, Tommy has done it for many, many years. I thought maybe kind of put it out there to you all to know, to see if you know of anyone that you would like to recommend. Or, if you want to go back with Tommy, I just thought we'd give somebody else an opportunity, if you all know of anyone.
Patty said she wanted to do it for
Patty did say she wanted, okay. So who wants to be her alternate?
Kim, you wanna do that? Yes or no? That's right.
Well, maybe Mr. Lucky wants to do it. That sounds like something right up his alley.
Oh, that's right, he's got a in-house.
I mean, he can always go to his dad and get
Is that that a yes?
Does anyone have anyone that they know of that school is, something that they might wanna consider? Anyone that considering that's gonna be running for an office, or anyone that, that they may want some experience with school finance?
For the Value Adjustment Board citizen member, did you speak to Mr. Perry? Does he wanna do it again?
I didn't expect him, and he may want to do it again.
Alright, let's talk to him and see if he wants to do it.
Okay, and then if he doesn't, y'all have anybody, any
I
ideas?
haven't given any thought, so I don't.
Alright,
Are we gonna talk about, title programs?
yes.
Oh, I thought you were done.
Okay, next on the list.
I'm glad you're here.
That's right. So, we received an email, they actually, there was a buzz started, they said that we needed to report, we had a meeting, a Zoom call with the, Commissioner of Education, and this was last week, and they put a freeze on all Title I Part C, Title II Part A, Title III Part A, and then anything that has to do with migrants and Century Community Learning Centers, adult learning, education, basic grants. And so we had a meeting, and basically now today we had our second meeting, and districts are coming out saying, look, what do we do? They're saying, well, if you use your fund balance, is it for planning? And then the superintendent from Collier said, look, if we use our fund balances to pay for all this, I mean, in some districts, it's $16 million they're losing, then we're showing them that we can do without the money. So they're like, we don't wanna do that. We wanna take a stand. So two of the superintendents went to Washington, knocking on doors. There's every state in the United States that has these funds are also doing the same thing. I'm gonna send you all a list of our, federal representatives. Please call them. I'll send you kind of a list of what they're sending out, as far as what we would like for them to do and what this money and how much it means to us. Cause it's, for us, we were really blessed and fortunate. We only paid for 3 people out of all of our title programs. We actually used it more toward programs and not people. We've got 2 migrant recruiters, and they're not gonna lose their jobs. We had a para position and a receptionist opening, so we just moved them right into those positions. And then we have a teacher that did test administration, and oh my gosh, what's the word? Not test administration, coordinator, yes, thank you. The test coordination and assessment, and so I'm kind of holding on because her position would be cut. And so so that would be the only 3 in our staff that we would have to, but it's big, it's a lot of money, and it's a big deal, because there's a lot of questions, and some of the questions are, okay, you're taking the money for these migrant advocates, but then who's gonna go out and do that work that they did? Well, then the question's asked, but are we gonna even have to fill out that paperwork? Because if you're getting rid of departments, so there's a lot of questions, and I can't answer anything. Because to be honest with you, we're not given a really good, I don't think really anybody knows right now. There's a lot of conversations, there's a lot of people that are going to try to advocate to Washington, but we're kind of at the mercy of the legislature.
So I have a question about that. So I know adult learning, we've been subcontracting to Collier County.
Correct.
Our English learner, adult, are those 2 things required? Do we have to do that? Because we're not even doing that. We're paying another school district to do it for us. So if we're not required to do it, we should just not offer that.
That's probably the least of all of them, yes, I agree with you, and that's kind of the question, is that if we're not, I know like, the superintendent for Miami-Dade said that is, in their county, that's several hundred jobs, and it's a big deal. But for us, the main thing is like your Title I, Part C, your Title II, Title III, because for us, it's programs, it's like IXL, it's a lot of your things that your teachers love, and they're gonna be upset, but the bottom line is we don't have the money. You know, we're like every other district across the United States, we're kind of trying to figure out what to do. We're
Could you tell
hoping,
us what programs, like send it to us in a email or something, like if these funds are not reinstated, this is what we're going to lose.
yes ma'am, and I can tell you exactly, because I have that, so.
I was reading the Pineapple Report, and I read the official letter from the governor to the person in charge of money. And he was sending forward the budget. And he said, and I listed everything that I am detailing. So I thought, why don't I go ahead and read this? And it's all single space. And I gave up on the 13 page because that it goes to like 27 pages.
That's the governor's details of the budget. Is
Right,
that what you're talking about?
right, and, but
Okay.
they're all federal. They're all federal programs. So he made sure, when you look at it, you'll see it.
I did the
Yeah.
same thing. I started looking and, whew,
Yeah, I mean, after a while, you just, basically, you need to walk away and then come back, because you can't do all 27, 20 pages.
but I didn't recognize it as federal. I thought it was all state and Florida stuff. How can you cut federal programs from the state budget? I'm confused. I'll look at it. I'll look at it.
It was enormous.
So right now, we're just kind of waiting to see, what, and they said that for us to keep checking our emails, to keep, you know, they're gonna come back on, we're gonna keep getting updates. The questions are, and it really doesn't apply to us because of the situation that we're in, but for many counties, you know, they've already given contracts out beginning July 1st. Well, now, these people are not gonna have a job, but they've already signed a contract, so is the school board liable for, like, what do they do? What do you,
Same with us. Have we signed software contracts?
so as far as contract software, we are up for renewal on some of them don't start until October, so we're good for a little bit, yeah, we're good. But like, I think IXL is the main one, I think we're gonna lose that right out of the, I mean, there's quite a few, I can send you that.
And Wendy was gonna contact them as well to see if they would work out an agreement with us to allow us some flexibility with this issue.
Problem is, everybody's wanting flexibility right now, and you know, they're not gonna be very
And
giving.
they're
I
right
understand.
about that supplanting thing, because if their district pays for it this year, and then the administration changes their mind, and now you have the money.
That's what a lot of concern, that's one of the main questions most of us school districts have right now.
I think that one of those ladies that went to Washington, D.C. had checked on that, and they said, I think in 2013, they did a waiver
Yeah.
or something like that, so that they felt as though that could still happen
To
too.
make up for it.
You know, what's happening right now is that these funds are frozen right now, but we don't know if they're gonna be unfrozen next week, or in December, or February, or not at all.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and there is, in 2013, something similar happened. And there is actual language that says you cannot, it's not supplanting. But what the superintendent said today, we want it in writing, we wanna make sure, because if we do this and we go and we're gonna get that money back, or are we gonna get the money back, and they're saying they're not gonna. But anyway, the other thing is, today I received an email, Pay Me Other became a charter school of distinction. And that's not the exact title, but something very similar. Dawn, do you,
They were that last week.
I will pull it
This
up
year-
right now. It is,
it's different. This year, they went from paying our administrative fee of 5% to administrative fee of only 3%.
charter school high performing designation.
And so it's gonna cost us,
It's gonna cost us about $84,000, cause normally, so off of that, FTE revenue that they generate, that we're the LEA for, and we reimburse them, we are able to collect a 5% administrative fee, which covers our overhead costs, you know, me and there working in the office, or Brian, whoever's working on it. And with them having this designation, that fee that we're allowed to collect goes down from 5% to 2%. Or 3,
We
yeah, I
still
keep
have
saying
to
2,
do the
it's
same
3.
things we've
Yes.
always
Yes.
done.
Yes, the same amount of work. I don't understand that
It
one.
just don't make
I mean,
sense.
I'm very proud of the charter school, I just don't understand how that, cause the work is the same.
So it's a monetary reward for them.
From us.
Say, is that designation, it's gotta be.
yes, I got it, okay?
Yeah, but it's a financial reward for them, but it's not the state rewarding them financially, it's us.
Yes,
It's our.
through labor.
Yeah, but I mean, the state's the one saying.
Well, they're
we have to do
saying
it.
we have to do it, it's like, you're getting a reward, Larry has to pay it.
And then also the other benefit they get per state statute is they also, instead of they filing their monthly financial statements with us, they're now allowed to do them quarterly.
And I will share that email with you all as well. The final thing I have is, Glades County has been approved, our school administrator evaluation system was up for review, and it was denied because there wasn't something on there. Do you wanna address it? Cause they saw that it was on there. Do you wanna talk about it?
We did all of that work and we sent it in and it takes them a long time to go through it. And the only kickback that they had on it was that I had the rubric for the assistant principals on there with how they're evaluated, but not the principals. And I said, ma'am, please scroll down to the next page. She said, oh, there it is. Well, we'll kick that, we'll email you right back. So it's there. And on the instructional plan is done, the PLCP plan, which is the first one that we've ever had, is also done and approved by them as of Monday. If you look on the state website, it lists all of the counties that do have the PLCP program, and Glades is not listed on there, and I'm waiting for them to put our name on that list there. So teachers who become teachers through non-traditional means, get that STEM certificate, and then they've got to go back for additional college courses and additional things like that. But we have the PLC program now where we're working with Heartland that will take the place of them having to do that, so we can expedite their process to go from a temporary to permanent. We have worked on that this last year, sitting in, and it is now approved and officially ready to go for this year.
That's all I have?
All right, thank you, Superintendent.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll go to board member comments and business. We'll start with you, Ms. Furlong.
The only thing I have is just, I'm excited about the progress that our schools have made. I came up yesterday and met with Dr. Barfield with some things that I missed while I was on my vacation, and we looked at grades, and I took it home and looked at it some more, and, you know, we're higher than the consortium overall. I looked at the rankings of some of those neighboring counties, I won't call any names, and we're so much better than they are. It makes me happy. I'm thrilled that we have, well, Dawn stepped out of the room, but we have 4 Okeechobee County people sitting right here helping us do what we do, and we're blessed to have them. Blessed to have them. So that's all I have.
Yeah, Okeechobee County's gonna be trying to get them back, aren't they?
They,
Look at our
they
scores.
cannot have them.
I like the
I think I confirmed that with these guys yesterday, that they're happy in Glades County.
Yeah, we wanna keep it, for sure. All right, Mr. Lucky?
I'm excited about our results and, you know, I'm happy for the kids for performing so well. And of course, I'm happy for teachers and all the support teams that made it possible. I know this is a bit premature, but I was wondering when typically do the rosters come out, not the rosters, but the schedules of the fall sport activities? They usually happen a couple of weeks before school starts usually.
I think, they're finalizing most of them. I wanna say football's already done, but I'll get those out to y'all as soon as possible.
And do the schools put those on their sites? Or we just put them on our county site? I didn't know if there's a place that I can just go and find
The
that
schedules,
information.
I think the schools put their sports schedules on their school
On their
websites.
school.
I believe.
Oh, you
was
mean there's
asked that
also, I thought we were
question
talking
today.
about there's,
Oh, no, I'm
Yes.
talking about
yes, the
sports.
schools put them on their individual webpage
I'll be
and
checking.
social media
Their
pages.
calendar, their
Yes, ma'am.
April calendar.
That's it, thank you.
Ms. Clement?
Okay, I did see where the back to school tax free is not just a week. Excuse me, it's not just a week this year, it's a full month of August. So, take advantage of that for tax free. There's also several different things that are itemized for tax free. I think from outdoor sports to hurricane preparedness, there's a whole pile of different things that they put on that list this year in Times. Also, another person had asked me, a couple of people have asked me about our board meetings being on YouTube. I know we're in between with IT right now, but do we have any knowledge on the YouTube videos being posted for our meetings?
Should only be one that's not listed, and that was Lindsay's last night. The new lady will begin,
On the 21st.
yes.
We got a new lady.
Yes, we actually, I will say who it is. Oh, no, we got someone, yes.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
been, that's all I have.
So your request then is when the new lady starts to make sure all the last meeting and this meeting get added.
I was just
Of
checking
course.
because I know that you mentioned at one point that we probably weren't gonna be posting them on YouTube anymore, so I wasn't sure if we were to that point or what was happening with our meetings being posted.
They're still gonna be on they're still gonna be on YouTube, yes.
Okay, anything else? Okay. So I'm gonna hit y'all with something really crazy off the wall, because you know I love to, once Patty call up throwing bombshells. So, I was reading in some of our school board emails that Escambia County was asking their county commission to put on their ballot, or on their agenda, they were starting the process to get it on the ballot to ask your community, do you want an appointed or an elected superintendent? Because we don't get to make that decision, the voters do. Our part in that is asking the county commission to add it to the ballot. And so, when Dr. Barfield was first, and Dr. Barfield and I have had multiple discussions, I'm not dropping a bombshell on her, I'm dropping it on you three. She and I have talked about it multiple times. Because when she was first elected, there was community members that sent us a letter, came to the board meeting and said, they wanted us to start that process. They wanted us to ask the county commission to get on the ballot. And there was a lot of pushback, from people that did not want that to happen. And the board did not want that to happen. I, for one, was very against it. And my main reason that I was against it, not because I think it's a bad idea, but Dr. Barfield had just been elected, and to me, it was a very disrespectful thing to do to somebody that just got elected, to say to them, well, we're gonna appoint the next one, because we don't, you know. I just thought that was very disrespectful to do. And so there was not a majority of us that were for it. I, for one, and Escambia County apparently is in the same spot where I am. I have thought about it since that time, and it is something that I wouldn't mind putting to the voter. Because specifically in Dr. Barfield's position, she's made it very public and very clear that she's not gonna run again. And so it's a sticky thing to ever do, but if you had a superintendent that was gonna run again, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, because it seems personal, you know? But the situation, the timeline we're in now, with her saying she's not gonna run again, is that still the case? Just to make sure.
7/17 is the case.
Okay, and so anyway, I don't want to answer tonight, I just want to throw it out there and let you think about it, because it would take a majority of the board. But I am saying it now because you have to get the ball moving now if you want it on the ballot in 2026. Their county commission is having a public hearing in August, next month. So if
And
it
that's
is,
the only way that it can be put as referendum? I thought there was a signature way.
now I don't know about that. I don't know of a signature way. The only way I've ever read or heard about is you put it on a ballot, and I think it may have to be a certain, it can't be a primary, it's got to be a general election ballot, and it goes to the public.
So let me ask a question.
Okay,
What if I said I was gonna run again?
I wouldn't, first of all, let me answer this first. I'm not for it. Y'all would have to convince me. Because
well, maybe that's what we just need is
but
just
well,
a
I
hearing, because I'm not gonna push it. I mean,
Right.
I would like to see it,
I
but
have
I'm
my
pretty sure-
reasons, but,
I'm pretty sure that,
I think it's taking power away from the people.
Yeah.
And,
and that's what the people who came and spoke against it, that was their argument. They wanted to elect their superintendent.
Crystal and I talked about that. There is a very large, very vocal people that will come out when this comes out. That's why, I think that it needs to be discussed. So I am glad that you brought it out.
so if we're needing a majority
It would take a majority
of us to go to the county commission,
Yeah.
then just know that right now you have one dissenting school board member. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I guess, of course, I can be persuaded, a lot of.
But off the top, without really thinking too much.
Yeah, well, no, I've thought about it.
You have, okay,
Yes, I've given it thought,
okay,
and I see the
Pros and cons,
benefits of
yeah.
both, and I've weighed it, and right now, I just feel like keeping the superintendent position in the hands of the people who go to the polls and elect.
and I did tell Dr. Barfield that if she were for it, she could probably convince our communities to vote for it, because she would probably be the deciding factor, because a lot of those people that came were her supporters. So if there's any way that you could get a majority of the voters to go along with it, she would have to be endorsing it, I believe. So it's really kind of,
How I'll say it, and Crystal and I talked about, those are your youth and your Buckhead community who are always very, very, they came out that night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
one of the reasons I'm here.
so,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And they're the ones who wanna make sure it stays
and
elected.
that, you're absolutely right.
Well,
Same.
I didn't even know that, but it makes me feel good because Some of those are, well,
But I think it's a conversation, I think Crystal's doing the right thing, but so I don't want anyone to think,
Well-
I'm worried, Crystal and I have had this conversation, I didn't know she was gonna bring it up tonight. But it's a conversation that needs to be held, let's have it, and
Well,
even
because
if I say I'm not running, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna want the appointment, let me just say that.
Because there's, the reason I brought it up tonight is because there's two other things that I think we might consider for the ballot as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to bring it up tonight. So if Larry's not for it, I don't think Ms. Pierce is for it, based on what we went through when we had to appoint the last time, when we had a superintendent leave. So Ms. Provant, do you have a stance yet, or, because if you're not for it, he's not for it, then I think I just need to move on to my second item and not worry about it.
I would just say, if you allow the people to vote on it, isn't that saying what the people want? I mean, one of the things that was mentioned was, we wanna keep it in the hands of the people they vote for. Well, if you give them an opportunity to vote on whether they wanna vote for or it's appointed, I mean, they're giving that
well,
opportunity.
then, that's why I think they should seek that alternate route. But if they're asking us, if the way that this protocol is, that it starts among us, then I don't feel we should do it. And if enough people are against what I say, then they need to petition, because that is another way you can get on there.
You mean the people could start a petition to have it added to the ballot?
Yeah, that's what I read.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, and I didn't know about the one you were saying.
I'm not sure, but that surprises me, because the board's role as an elected versus an appointed board is a completely different. Your role with the superintendent is different as an
Right,
appointed board
they train us
versus.
differently at the school board
Correct.
association. When people ask questions at the school board association meetings, they answer it based on, do you have an elected superintendent or do you have appointed superintendent? Because they give two different answers. Public sentiment has a lot to do with how it's perceived. So the reason it changed in Lee County was, I think, a whole different reason of why people might want it to change here. The reason it changed in Lee County was that the news was really good at putting out there every time a superintendent was let go of their contract, it showed how much that cost the district. And in every case, the school board had to purchase the rest of the contract. So if they, were paying the superintendent $210,000 a year, and it was a 3-year contract, then they had to pay that. Well, in Lee County, that happened frequently over the last 20 years. So the public was seeing this. And then it got to where the public says, we're tired of wasting money. That was the reason, the major reason it switched in Lee County, going back, which now makes Lee County the largest school district in the United States that is headed by an elected superintendent. Okay, over here, what is the movement? Ask the hard questions. What is the movement? Why do people not want an elected superintendent?
The thing that the board can do with an appointed one is, if they're not doing a very good job, they can release them from the contract. That's the thing.
Yeah,
If they're elected, you're stuck with them for 4 years.
Right.
The only one who gets rid of them is the governor.
For 3 more years.
But it puts the pressure on you as board members. Because
I'm
now
not
I
saying they
hear,
work well, but both of them can be horrible.
They can.
Correct.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both. I mean, if you're appointed, if you're elected, it becomes more of a popularity contest. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you're appointed, then the board has an opportunity to select someone who actually has experience in decision making in schools. I mean, because an elected person could be someone who has absolutely no experience at all, and there are some that have actually done a good job. But there are many superintendents who are elected that have no school experience at all. And it works well in a larger district because they become more of a CEO type person. But in a smaller district, I'm not sure it works so well. So there's a lot of pros and cons, you know.
And also, I'm just gonna say this, you're an appointed superintendent, you're gonna have to pay more money. You know, you're gonna have to say they have to live in Glades County. There's gonna have to be some, you know, some. I mean, like I
They
said,
wouldn't have to live in Glades County. If
so
they-
you would
we
you would
appointed-
want a superintendent that does not live in Glades County?
Oh, it's happening right now with Broward and Palm Beach. I can't remember which it was, the superintendent of Broward lives in Palm Beach.
Yeah, I don't think that would have anything to do with it. I mean, it'd be great if they did, but personally, I wouldn't put that on the job description.
That would be something you would encourage.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I come from a district and it's encouraged, it's not something they have to do, it's encouraged.
Ms. Furlong, were you trying to avoid my question, or did you really have to?
I just had to go to the bathroom, I've been waiting, hoping we would.
Okay, back to you, Ms. Furlong, have any thoughts? Should
So,
we do
I've
something
really
tonight,
been-
or-
I've really been
About it.
caught off guard
Okay,
by you throwing that out tonight first.
Yeah.
And then by Dr. Barfield hedging on whether she's gonna run again or wants to be appointed or whatever, so.
We're all
Because she
taken aback
said,
on that one, yeah.
huh?
We're all taken aback on that one.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you
mean,
talk about
that's
people
all
that
I've
got
heard is
three-
I'm not
three-
running again, and now I'm like, what?
Well, let me say this.
people do change their mind.
People change their minds, number one. Number two, my passion is to make this an A district. And I'm not just saying an A district because it's gonna say that we're an A district. I mean an A district where we are performing at an A district level. I really wanna see Muse get their school. There's things I want to see happen, and I feel like that we're really going in a good direction. But in the same sense, I have a grandchild and, you know, I mean, so yes, I will say that my plans right now are to, at the end of my term this Vermont, to retire. But, or not to retire, I will say this, I am not going to retire, I'm going to I wanna remain a superintendent somewhere in the state of Florida or Georgia. But I at this time, if you had to tell me I had to make a decision right now, my decision right now would be, yes, I'm gonna, at the end of my term, I'm gonna be done. But I don't want a decision made on that, because what happens, I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen between now and 2 years when I have to sign
Well,
up.
if the question is on the ballot, there's also gonna be a person running for superintendent on that same ballot.
Correct.
And so that person, whoever won, would get to serve their term.
No, so if this goes on the ballot, it will go on the ballot in
Oh, in the.
26.
26, so
But there's a
there will
deadline,
not be
right?
a superintendent on that ballot.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I was thinking that
If
you're not
it
done
were,
in 26, you're done in 28.
if the people go that way.
So I think the difficulty you had with the interim superintendent is it was an interim superintendent, wasn't it? I mean, because the person coming in knew that they only had like another year
11
or
months.
so, because then there was gonna be an election.
I'm sorry, I missed the beginning.
Yeah, when you had spoken something about that you had a difficulty with appointing someone when, I believe, when Mr. Bass left. I'm just saying, well, part of that could be because there was no job security for someone coming in there because they knew in another year or a year and a half or whatever, someone else was definitely gonna take their place
Yeah,
unless they got elected.
They knew it was just an interim,
Right.
yeah.
So that's understandable. A lot of people aren't gonna come in for just a short term, they wanna come in for a long term if they can.
We didn't even interview
Yeah.
for that. It was chaotic and crazy, I'll tell you about it later. It was crazy, I don't ever want that to happen again. But anyway, anyway, all right, so
Well,
Ms.
that
Brumart,
Because if something happens to me at this point, then I have designated a deputy director.
right,
Our deputy superintendent, so that will not happen, so something happens to me,
right.
Gerard Bryan steps in and then he goes and the governor appoints somebody.
I'm a designated survivor.
That's right, that's why it says Brian and I are not supposed to be out at the state at the same time, there's some pretty, but I don't want, all I'm saying is, I don't want us to make a decision based on what I'm gonna do, because I honestly am not committed to that, and,
Well, no one would be, but
yeah.
you've made it public,
Yeah.
you're pretty sure, you know,
Until tonight.
um, anyway, Ms. Brumart, Howard, do you just need more time to think about it? Cause I have two more things.
Yeah, I don't think I have a problem with putting it on the ballot. I can see pros and cons either way, everything turned out good with the election. You know, everybody knows I didn't support Dr. Barfield in her first election, but after we smoothed our feathers and got on the same page, I think we've worked well together, and I did definitely support her in her second election, and I wouldn't have a problem supporting her again or appointing her. The problem with elections, I think, is that a lot of times, especially in a small community like us, popularity, family background, those kind of things play a heavier role in who the person votes for than who is really best prepared for the job. And so maybe an appointed would be good. I think I would vote to put it on the ballot. Does that answer your question?
All right, Kim?
I'm not against putting it on the ballot, I'm mostly concerned about, what the salary difference would be. I know that you said there would be a huge salary step. I
Oh,
just,
that's up to, that would be
That would be
up
up to us.
to the board.
We could pay them less.
But you're not gonna get,
We wouldn't.
You're not, yeah,
so if the deal is, hey, we want an appointed superintendent, and then we have to select one, we want a good one. And we follow the protocol of a committee that selects those who are interested. When you go to put out the $118,000 salary, you're not gonna have a bunch of qualified people asking, well, I shouldn't say that. You're not gonna have the caliber that you're looking for, running to apply for that position for the amount of money that the state says a district of our size should be paying.
Unless you found someone that was inexperienced, but, you know, you felt that they could do the job and you were willing to hire them on their past performance with you perhaps, or
You know, when we
their references.
When we go to look at, what districts have an appointed superintendent, I don't know which ones are small districts with appointed superintendents.
Yeah, most of the
That's what
small,
we need to look at.
yeah, most of the small are elected.
Right, right.
I do like that about whenever we go to the FSBA conferences and we're in our small district. I don't wanna say we're pretty much the only one in the state of Florida that all gets along and, you know, all likes each other, but I guarantee you, the majority of the boards that we talk to, it doesn't matter if they're small or big districts, they are divided.
There is lots of dissension. I think that has to do with, we tend to put politics aside when making our decisions. And other districts are politically run. It's just, I'm not saying good or bad, but that's where the decisiveness comes in my opinion, from what I've observed.
So does it cost anything to put this question on the ballot, whether it's wanted or not?
I don't believe it does, but I'll find out.
here's the only, I do wanna throw this out there. and you know, I'm always up for battle. But here's what I'm gonna say. I feel like it is going to just give people an opportunity to just, like an ice pick, just, to our district, well, why are they doing that? Do they not have faith in the current superintendent? You guys might not ever hear that, but I hear it, and I get it in the community. I get it when I go somewhere in the community and they're like, why is this happening? Do they not? I feel like that I want you all, if this is the way you want to go, and this is gonna go to our county commission, I want it to be a usual thing because I want there to be substance in what we say. And if we're gonna say, look, it has nothing to do with the current superintendent or what, it may be, y'all may be doing it, whatever. It needs to be a message that we all say. Because I don't want it to be like, because the last time it got brought up, that was the message that got out there, the reason they were, and I've had conversations with one of the people that wrote a letter, and that was not the intention, but that's what was perceived by a lot in the community, and that's why some people came.
I'm lost.
There was a letter written and, spoken at one of our board meetings on the idea of wanting to change it from elected to
Appointed.
Correct.
And the perception by a lot of people was that they didn't like Dr. Barfield, so this was a way to get rid of her. That was and I really think that was the intent of some of the people, if you wanna be.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
What?
It
There were
was
some people who didn't like her and didn't like that she got
She
elected.
didn't get 100% of the vote.
And so
She got lost.
this was the way to get her. Dr. Barfield.
How would you,
Not 100%.
how would you feel about it? Are you ready to support it? Because like I said before, if you're not in support of it, it's not gonna pass. And it's gonna be a waste of everybody's time.
So I am so torn on this. I struggle with this very,
Yeah.
it's very,
I
because
understand you don't want it to be a bad look on you, I get it.
if I thought that I had, I'm trying to say this as eloquently as possible. Not praying, this is my praying hands.
When have you been eloquent?
Okay, I'm
A long time,
trying. We are cutting this off. I don't know that I believe that the people should have the right to vote for who they want as superintendent, just as they have the right to vote who they want for sheriff, who we don't, who they vote for tax collectors. I run the largest budget in this county. I am the largest employer in this county. It takes, there has to be skills to do this job. I never was a superintendent before being a superintendent, but I led a school that was a very, very large school, a very large organization. I had been an administrator. I had worked very, very hard to get to where I was professionally. I went and got my doctorate degree. I did things to prepare me to become a superintendent. My concern, and I'm gonna say this, and I've had many, many conversations with Mr. Gressick about this, probably too many to count. I love Glades County, and I love what we have done in this county. I am so proud of what we have done. And when I think about the potential of where it could be in 3 years, if someone was to run, anyone was to run, and it wasn't to go well, or it was not to go in favor of the most qualified candidate, it scares me where our district could end up. It scares me a lot. Because I'm telling you, I have fought every day for the past 5 years to get us. And some days, it's smoother than others, but it's a hard job to keep and get Glades County in the direction we're in. I know it's easy to say, let's just vote and let's take it and let's do an appointed. That's the easy way to do this, believe it or not. The better way to do this would be build up people in our own district to want to become a leader and want to take the next step. I have a hard time finding people that the depth of administration is not there. I have one or two people that, you know, I have a couple of people that say, I'm interested, I wanna be superintendent. You know, but I don't know, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a lot of, I need to do a pros and cons list. If you all are serious and it's something you wanna bring back up on and we put on the agenda, maybe we could get some people here to have some open discussion.
And I'm not
I
interested
think
in
what
that.
you just said is, I mean, perception should be that the board has thought well of the superintendent and it has things moving forward. They know that she may be retiring from this position and you wanna keep that going. I mean,
Keep that momentum.
Yeah, I don't think it would be bad on you from before.
that's the thing you just said. I mean, and I think that's what the board wants too. I mean, and the people have to trust in voting for the school board to select a candidate that can run this district.
Because actually, the way it's supposed to work in a healthy district is we're supposed to set the vision. This board, we're supposed to do what Dr. Barfield is really good at, the big picture, where are we going? And then we, in a district where they're appointed, we hire someone and we hold them accountable for getting our ship where we want it to go, like the county does with the county manager. And I feel like with an elected superintendent, we sometimes get lost in the shuffle. And we end up just being along for the ride on their ship. Like they're steering the ship where they wanna go. And if we don't like it, that's why we get along so good, because where she's steering, we're all in agreement with. We all, I think, want a West Glades school. We all wanted a Moorhaven Elementary. But if someone gets elected and they don't want the school, the new school at West Glades, you know, it'll be up to us, then we'll be at battle like these other boards. That's what the battles are.
Or they go back to hiring uncertified people, which.
Right, if we get a superintendent that's not a priority.
That's not a priority.
Exactly.
We have, just throw this out there, at this current time, we have 2 openings in our entire district.
Wow, that's great.
And they're all certified, they're all correct, certified, except for one, but she will have hers in the first week of August. And it's very hard to teach, hard to find subject, but anyway, that's totally off subject. I just want to throw that out there, because that has been kind of a thing.
But we have fought for some things like certified teachers. And if the wrong person gets elected, it could be, I'm not saying it's going to be, it could be hiring all our friends again, like has happened in the past, whether they're certified or not.
The superintendent drives where the district goes currently. And we have been blessed in that where Dr. Barfield has wanted to go and the vision she's had, we've all been in agreement with. But that's why you see those boards in conflict with one another, because even for 5 people to be in agreement where we want the district to go can be difficult. And some of those boards have 7 people, you know, so it's like, you know, we've all been really on the same page with most everything that's come up since I've been on the board.
The only 2 people that know, maybe 3, who's up in 2 years? Kim, Crystal, and Patty. So 3 of you, it's gonna be, I think the 3 of you are gonna get the most heat from it, because when those rallies, they're gonna ask you, they're gonna come at you if they're for it, if the Muse and the Buckhead people are not for it, they're gonna be very, very staunch, they're gonna come at you and say, well, and they're
Why
gonna.
did you put it on the ballot? Why
Correct.
did you agree to even have it on the ballot?
I think what Mr. Russett said, that you've already said, and then again, changing my mind and making me think a little bit deeper what Ms. Promont said. It makes you think.
I think we could,
The thing is, either one of them can work very well.
Yes, agreed.
Either one
If
of
it's the right
them
person,
can be disastrous.
just gotta get the right person.
I worked in a district where somebody got elected that didn't know his head from the hole in the ground in the last 20 years, so it was horrible. But guess what? He didn't get reelected.
All right, well, so we have 3 here tonight that would agree to put it on the ballot, is that correct? Okay, so I will get with, Aletris and find out if it's gonna cost money. Now, and I do know if it passes, and we are to the point where we are trying to find one, it will cost money. I think it's about $30,000 for FSBA to conduct your superintendent search. And then we can do it ourselves. We don't have to hire them to do it. We can do it, we can hire, Mr. Radeball can do it, put out the things. But in
Mr.
the
Ray,
bigger,
they wanna apply.
right, but he can post the job, you know what I mean, or whatever. He can handle it for us. But a lot of big districts do hire FSBA to help, with the interviews and such. So that would be a possible cost. But the salary piece, if we wanna get someone from outside the county, yeah, we're gonna have to pay a lot more money. But if we hire somebody that lives in our area, we could probably get them for the same salary or close to it. I think, but I might be wrong on that. All right, so I'll give you some background
Can we,
information.
instead, before we take it to the county commission or to
Oh, we
Aletris,
have to vote on it before we do
Yeah.
that, yeah.
so can we, before we do that,
Mm-hmm.
can we not table it, because we're not really voting on it right now, this is just, can we have it just one more discussion in case anyone can go and research prior to that? Or, okay,
We just kinda have to move a little quickly.
even like in a month,
As an information item on the
Yeah.
next meeting, maybe,
Yeah.
and then to vote on the following. Okay, that sounds good. 2 other things, so on the same note, we need to get our referendum back on that same ballot where we can move capital money to general funds, okay? So are we all in favor of that? I'm assuming. Okay, Kim, you're in favor of that? Okay, so I guess we may need to vote on that too, Carla. Because that's the same process, we have to take that to the county commission, I believe. Or do we just give it to Aletris?
I can call Aletris, I'll call Aletris and find out.
Okay. And then the other thing is, I feel like we should maybe, on that same ballot, ask for a special tax for the school. I agree. I don't know, we have to be specific what we're gonna spend it on. So we're gonna need to research that, and we're gonna have to make a decision. But now that's only 2 of us that agree, so I don't know how these 2 feel.
Can I comment on that?
Of course.
I mean, I can't, you're the board, I'm your secretary, but, here's what I'm gonna say. And I'm thinking of this from a PR standpoint, because I've been with my daughter for a couple of days and that's all when we run these referendums, we run these on the ballot, vote no all the way, I'm just saying we need to be very careful how we word this, because we don't wanna make it where everybody just votes no, because they're gonna have to be the vote no all schools. Vote, I mean, obviously we'll say vote yes all schools, but we don't need it to be where it's easy. So my only thing is when we do the language, and I'll get from Aletris what she needs from us and what the deadline is and all that. But we need to make it where we're very conscious of what the question we ask.
Yeah.
Is it a yes, no, yes question? Is
Right.
it a yes, yes, yes question?
Aletris said that the protocol is that a yes means there is a change. Like you're asking for a change and it gets voted yes, so you don't word it in a way where a no makes a change. That's the protocol, she told me.
So
Of course, I don't.
we already have a half cent sales tax in Blaze County, correct?
Not for the school.
Not for the school specifically, correct, but there already is a half cent sales tax.
There's a 1% local option already.
There, but it's goes to the county, we pay 7%, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not a 0.5%, that's a 4%. As a whole, the state mandates 6% and we collect 7%.
And I think that one goes to the county.
It does, so we need something that goes to the schools.
Yes, the school special tax, and we can do it for buses, we can do it for salaries, we can do it for, sports facilities, maintenance, we can do it for anything, but whatever we say, that's what it has to be spent on.
So the 1%, the one that the county gets, is it, what's the language say of where that money is spent?
Oh, I don't know, that's the county's.
I mean,
I'll
you're all in the courthouse tomorrow, so you might as well
That's
put
right.
it through.
Okay, I'll check.
It's 6% state sales tax and a 1% small county surtax. The surtax was adopted in 2022 and it's effective till 2031. We have tourist development tax.
Is there a cap on that? Like, I know that, like, when Hendry County added a 1 cent tax to build their new jail, that tax maxed out at $10,000. So if you were buying a $30,000 car, you paid 7% for the first 10,000, and then everything over 10,000 you pay 6%. So is there a max on our tax?
I don't think so.
Okay, no, okay. One of the things that I don't like about how taxes are done is that when it's chosen to be, let's say, on someone's property taxes, the people that can barely own their homes always get a larger portion of their income goes to taxes. And you don't think it means a lot until you retire and you get on a fixed income, you know, or something like that. And all of a sudden, your property tax is $3,000 a year instead of $2,000, and your house is now $6,000 insurance instead of $2,000. All that happens, and it's very hard to remain middle class for the way things have been happening. So when I think of taxes being assessed, if they're going to go onto property taxes, then I want there to be an exemption for the first $100,000. You know, that's,
Well, this would be a sales tax.
That's what
not
you're talking
property
about?
tax.
I thought it was a gas tax, isn't it? Gas.
well, we didn't say,
You can do
we
a
didn't
gas
say.
tax or a sales tax, right?
I don't know. I don't think we can do it, yes, but
No?
Why couldn't we do it?
Yours would be more the
Let's talk
property
about
would be
this
more with
before, I'm
the
trying to-
impact fees.
Depends on how much you can have, it's also.
But it would not be property tax.
Right.
I mean, there may not be property taxes in the next couple years.
And that's sales tax.
Just saying.
My annex tax.
It says a school district cannot impose a gas tax.
Okay.
They are typically levied by state and federal governments to fund transportation infrastructure. While school districts may receive a portion They don't have the authority to create their own gas tax. I mean, FSBA can help us figure out what was
These are
your
the highest counties, Henry, Hillsborough, and Highlands have the highest.
and that's sales tax. So there's 3 counties, Carl found, that have a 7.5% sales tax, and that is the cap.
Yeah,
So
most counties
Henry is
do
one
do
of
that.
those. Henry has that. So we could maybe get the 0.5
The half
for the
cent.
school.
And almost all school districts do that. When I met my finance officers, there's only very few that don't.
Well, and I believe that's what Hendry County's, they got it passed
Right,
last time.
And they have praise and very thankful.
And they did it for salaries, I believe, teacher salaries, wasn't it, or whatever?
I don't remember the specificity.
I do know you have to list that, so, all right, well, those were my 3 things. So we're gonna just do some research, but I get what you're saying, we need to maybe not put everything, but maybe prioritize what we think. Cause I think that referendum is super important and a special tax would be awesome.
Pay that for our schools.
Yeah.
Our schools.
So, yeah, if we put it for capital improvement,
Mm-hmm.
we could.
And then convince the people that it's for Westlake. They have a huge voting block out there.
Well, and it would help for that school because it would help us pay the payback.
That's right.
I mean, it literally would help us get the school for
Right.
them.
Exactly.
So that would help them to help support it. Anyway, all right, that's all I have. I did see someone, I don't wanna mention any names, but I'll talk to you about someone we rehired that I thought was great. So anyway, we'll talk about that after the meeting. Anything else? Anybody?
The emblem, our county,
Oh, yeah, what's going on with that?
So, our artiste
Just walked in.
just walked in.
I left for 3 minutes.
So many districts spend a lot of money having theirs, and ours is free because we're using, some help.
local talent.
Yes, well, not real local, like in our office.
Yes.
Like, and so we're kind of, I know your specification that you, were
Hey.
suggestions,
They're just, yeah, they were just.
And they were
suggestions. I thought they were great, of course.
they were great.
But,
But I just wanna say that we're a little on the, there's changes that can't be made, but we'll change as much as we can, and I'll present it at the next meeting to be voted on.
Can I make a comment? One of the things that we're trying to be considerate of is the fact that we want to turn it into something that we can embroider. So when you start adding detail, that kind of gets in the way of the embroidery.
I don't think my recommendations were all about detail, it was replacing 2 gators down to 1.
Well, we did
2
that,
birds, you change one of the birds,
but gray blue.
yeah, you change one of them to, because there were 2 great blue herons and there were 2 gators. So that's the same amount. And then the cypress everywhere, and you take and you put a swamp cabbage tree instead of a cypress. I don't think I was adding anything. I threw out the Everglades kite, so that would have been extra, but none of the other was extra, in my opinion.
So I'll
I think
present
the
some of
capital hat
this.
sitting on top of it, I'm saying that, the capital hat sitting on top of it.
I think, first of all, we've seen like 3, I don't know, but I've seen like 3, because I remember their turkey, and the turkey looked, it was awesome, but he looked awkward over there, but I liked them all. But then I have a working knowledge of this county, and what I think is wonderful, the swamp cabbage and our
He's a
stand
very fast artist, I'm.
Yeah, and I thought it looked really good, but if somebody wanted to know what someone thought,
I
I
mean,
just thought.
probably, his wife could probably hand draw what he wants,
Oh, she did the,
instead of it being.
oh, but
But
listen,
Mr. Thomas has this under control.
yeah.
He does. So, all right,
I mean, you can take a hand drawing and digitize it then, right? Or you just
Absolutely.
scan it. I mean,
I didn't mention this to my wife at all because I get in trouble for stuff like that.
I'm sure you
Any of
will.
you out there ever been a spouse? I mean,
But, I don't know.
no. She stays, like, she worked on the art today 5 hours and then had a headache and had to lay down. I mean, she's running a non-for-profit as if it is her baby. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? All right, meeting adjourned.
That's all right.
And Lori,